Who doesn't like a good old-fashioned BOKER automatic? Well, today we're going to take a look at two new options in the BOKER automatic line, the harpoon-shaped Kalashnikov and the Kihon Auto. Well, that's right, folks. Here in the backyard, chilling behind the shed. Recently, this weekend, my buddies and I built a shed for the backyard to help better organize my life, the garage, the house, and really excited for it. Really looking forward to cleaning up some stuff and getting some things organized and better laid out. Gear that we have here, you know, all that type of stuff. So it works as a double in tandem with not only organization, as a great backdrop for videos like this. So you'll see a lot more of the shed backdrop, and maybe at some point we'll do a quick video on the shed itself. But we're not here to talk about a shed today. We're here to talk about BOKER automatic knives. That's right, and particularly the Kihon first off, and then we'll hit that Kalashnikov at the end there real quick. Now, what I love about this Kihon design, and this was designed by Lucas Burnley, and he's done a lot of other BOKER designs. They have like some flippers and some different things like that. Some really popular BOKER designs are made by him and designed by him, and so BOKER decided to make it automatic and make it exclusive to Blade HQ. So you can only pick up this design over at Blade HQ. And we'll have links for you guys, and we'll talk all about that here in just a little bit. But what I really connect with is obviously this copper tone, because I've had this blade for about 2 years. You can see I love the copper tone green handle. You can see how much love that Kalashnikov has seen over the years. Still just as snappy as the day I bought it, and had thousands of fires at this point. Some of you guys have been asking me about that, like, hey, how do these, you know, more budget-friendly autos hold up just as well on the automatic side as any of my $140, $150, you know, autos that are out there? So what I really love is the blade shape right out of the gate. I mean, check that out. AUS 8 steel, AUS 8 steel. You guys can just see that there. Look, check that thing out. Just continuous sweep all the way up to that piercing tip. We're looking at about a 3 1/4 on the blade length. Great relief edge. Now, what I like about BOKER is that they do a really good job with their heat treats on AUS 8. I would put it up there on these blades, particularly the Kalashnikovs that I've used, of right around like SOG and cold steel when they were using more AUS 8. So for the steel, you're going to get a lot of good edge retention. It's not a super steel, but it'll hold a good edge for you. Good piercing tip there. Really nice flat grind on these Kihons. And just a great performer, regardless if you're needing to pierce for precision cutting and those type of things, or just slicing. The continuous sweep just makes it a wicked, wicked slicer. Almost is like the tip almost comes up above the handle right there, which is awesome. So the shape is just ultra connecting with me. And I think it will with you as well. If you're watching this video, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, it's gonna perform. The blade is going to perform. Now, the action is interesting because what BOKER did for Blade HQ was put upgraded springs in this, is what they say. Now, the snappiness, I don't really notice any difference between this one and my 2-year-old BOKER. I'm just gonna be real with you. It seems to be about as fast. Maybe a little smoother, I don't know. But very similar. I mean, that's great that they put stronger springs in there. It's not gonna, and from my blade, the one that I got, it's about as fast. So take that with a grain of salt. You're getting that good stop pin back there. You got your good plunge lock that has slight rock side to side, rock solid up and down, which is the exact same on my BOKER Kalashnikov. So if you already own a Kalashnikov, you know it's a very similar action in every single way, lock up, all of that. Now, they did do some texturing there on the firing button versus the BOKER Kalashnikovs are smooth, so it does give you a little bit better grip. It is pretty recessed into the handle, so you don't need to worry about, you know, safety or anything like that. You really got to think about it to not only press, but depress the blade. So that's a good thing. Not too, you know, standoffish, but not so recessed that like you can't hit it with the gloves. I've tested it with gloves. You can easily hit that thing, open and close it with the gloves. Then we just have aluminum handles with really nice flow-through construction, one big standoff back here at the back by that screw. And then you got a more natural handle design than what you have on your Kalashnikov. So some of you really like that. Some of you really connect with that, you know, finger cut-ins that the Kalashnikovs have. Some of you don't. and this is going to give you a more natural feeling. And I would say, even though the Kalashnikov is not by any means bad on ergonomics, I actually like the cut-ins. They're fun and a little bit different, and they did a really good job with it. This is just more standard, more natural, feels more comfortable. You're gonna get a little bit of jimping right up there on that mild thumb ramp, and then you're gonna get a nice cut in there to keep you really locked into place. And then they got that kind of reptilian textured skin look there on these little cut-ins to give you some texture, and then all the angles are nice and rounded with that nice lanyard hole, and nothing abrupt, nothing sharp. Fills out my large size hands really well. I feel really in control of the blade. You can see there, I mean, just when I move it, I mean, it looks like it just is wanting to slice the air and slice ribbons through, you know, whatever you're gonna put it up against. So 3.6 ounces for this and 3.6 ounces for my Kalashnikov when I put them up on the scale. So very similar in weight. The final thing will be a more natural style pocket clip. It's not deep ride. I would have liked to see that. The Kalashnikov has the deep ride and kind of fits in with the grooves, a lot bigger. This is a lot smaller, good retention, doesn't cause any hot spots. Again, right now, not ambidextrous. Maybe they'll offer an ambi version in the future, but is righties only, tip up only on the pocket clip. Working fine for me, blacked out, that's really good. So they have satin with black handle, and then they have black on black right now, and then this copper with OD green. So the final thing is that this is going to run you 50 bucks, the Kalashnikovs. And I'm going to transition here to the Harpoon. The Kalashnikovs will run you about, what is it, $42 over on Blade HQ. So about an $8 difference. The design is slightly different. They've upgraded the springs. Maybe they'll last a little longer than the standard Kalashnikovs. I don't know. It's really, you're paying for a very similar knife, just a slightly upgraded springs and then a different design. So $8 difference, I think, is still definitely in the realm of budget-friendly, very high-performing autos with this Kihon, and totally connects with me. Now it's going to be really hard for me to choose between all three of my BOKER autos, which one I want to carry. Particularly, man, those two, it's going to be a real hard pick. But I want to hear from you guys. Which one do you feel like gravitate? If you could only have one of these two, the copper tone clip, buoy clip, and the copper tone Kihon. Love to hear your guys' thoughts. Now, Blade HQ hit me up. They said, hey man, these are coming out. I had seen that these were about to drop and I was already on the wait list. So we have a sample for you if you'd like. And I said, totally, I want to throw it up against my Kalashnikovs, see the differences, show you guys. So they sent this one over to me. At the same time, about a week earlier, I bought the Harpoon version over at Blade HQ, which is also an exclusive blade shape, along with a sheep's foot design and a hawk bill or karambit style Kalashnikov. So lots of exclusive options. Links below over to Blade HQ. We appreciate when you guys purchase all your gear through the links, regardless if it's to Blade HQ for the exclusives that we're showing you here today, or just other gear in general. We have all those links for you guys below. Check them out throughout the video and throughout the content that you see here week in, week out. So as we transition now to the Harpoon shape, totally sick. Camera's not wanting to work with me today, that autofocus. So love that blade shape. The reason I went with this is purely cool factor. The clip version is super sick, and so this was just another option that I decided to go with, so that now I have two versions in the Kalashnikov and one in the Kihon. And it's just fun. It's just neat. It works. It's functional. I love the shelf, so you can rest your finger right there and be able to do like a draw cut, you know, if you wanted to. Very functional design, very fun design. And I would say for me, out of all three of the new blade shapes that Blade HQ is carrying, the Harpoon was the sickest to me. Now, to be honest with you, the sheep's foot design is probably the most unintimidating. It's the least likely shape that when you fire that thing open, you know, at the lunch table at the office, people are gonna least likely freak out on you or, whoa, what's going on? Just because of the more natural lines, the less intimidating profile. The blade shape, I believe, has a higher grind, so it'll probably be an amazing slicer as well, and is not as piercing and penetrating as, say, the Harpoon or something like the clip design. So those are things to consider there. The most neighborhood friendly of the three new blade shapes would be the sheep's foot. And then finally, that hawkbill or karambit style. I mean, let's get real. The usability of that is really for if you know how to use a karambit and you know how to use the, knives in a self-defense tool role like that, or basically like cordage cutting. I mean, that's really where the main capabilities of those are going to be. I wouldn't want to be going through tons of cardboard with that and having to resharpen that thing. You're going to have a ceramic rod or a belt sharpener, probably more than likely, to put good edges back on that once it dulls. So those are things to consider, but if you know how to use those well, or it's just you like those style of blades, obviously now you have that option in a Kalashnikov, and it's going to cost you less than $50. So that's an awesome aspect to it. And I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments as well. Of the 3 new blade shapes, which one connects with you the most? Obviously for me, the harpoon. But man, now guys, I have 3 heavy-hitting, budget-friendly autos that really, in fit and finish, deployment, and just quality overall, can compete with anything, you know, 3 times as expensive. And really the only thing that it's not competing in would be, say, some premium steel, you know, like S30V or S35VN or M390 or something like that. And for daily use, do you really need that? That's a good question to ask yourself. You know, is it better just to invest in $50 to $42 auto that, yeah, you have to tune up every once in a while on a ceramic rod, but so what? You're getting the same firepower, you're getting the same fun action, and you're getting great ergonomics and lots of blade profile options now, from particularly the Kalashnikov, but now even, you know, in this Kihon, getting such a cool looking style and design in this knife is fantastic and just really, really fun. So guys, love to hear your guys' thoughts, questions that you may have. I'll answer in the comments below. Again, check out Blade HQ, links below if you're interested in any of these designs. And check us out on Instagram, Facebook, all the social media, throwing up stuff there all the time. Love to answer any questions that you guys have through those and see what's up and coming, projects I'm working on, things like that. And finally, guys, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared. See you out there.